There are some attacks in video games so distinctive, devastating, or awe-inspiring they've become as iconic as the character who performs them. Ryu's fireball, Sonic's spin dash, Kratos' overhead smash with the Blades of Chaos, all are busted out with such frequency they write themselves into gaming's history books. However, there are some moves, weapons, and all-round offensive maneuvers that get the job done but defy most explanation. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are the 9 most unique attacks in video games. Number 9. YOSHIMITSU'S Harakiri. Tekken. Few fighters in Tekken are more badass than Yoshimitsu. If this mangy samurai didn't look so imposing, no one would take his slap you silly attack or kangaroo kick seriously. However, the most bizarre move in his repertoire is the Harakiri. By plunging his sword into his abdomen, Yoshimitsu will lose over half his health. But if his opponent is now standing directly behind him, they'll suffer the same level of damage. As a result, you should only perform Harakiri if you have a ton of health and your opponent is close to death. If you miss, you're gonna lose a sizable chunk of energy. It's so difficult to perform this move that the only real reason to try is sheer humiliation. By using the Harakiri, you're telling your challenger that you are so much better than they are, you can beat them even after stabbing yourself. Number 8. Drill Bucket. Dead Rising 2. In the first Dead Rising, the player was given a variety of weapons to eliminate those mindless meatbags we all call zombies. In the sequel though, you were offered even zanier tools to kill zombies, including knife gloves, pitchfork guns, or a motorbike with chainsaws attached to the handlebars. There is one means of attack that's so creative and effective though, it's surprising it took this long to appear in any zombie-based media. The Drill Bucket. This doohickey is pretty much what it sounds like. By taping power drills to a bucket, you can place it on a zombie's head, drilling the shambling corpse to death in seconds. Of course, this ad hoc gizmo does have its drawbacks. Because you can only hold one bucket at a time, it should only be used in singular encounters. You also need to pick it up after each use should you intend to drill more zombie craniums in the future. Nevertheless, there are few things in Dead Rising 2 more entertaining than watching the drill bucket work its magic. Number 7. Spontaneous Buttei's Lethal Booty. South Park: The Fractured But Whole. There are so many unique attacks in the always overlooked South Park: The Fractured But Whole, we could have filled this list 10 times over. While exploring the town of South Park, you'll encounter characters who fight with diabetes, microaggressions, and selfie sticks, but it's Spontaneous Buttei's attack which leaves the biggest impression. As the South Park boys infiltrate a strip club, an obese dancer called Spontaneous Buttei starts chasing them down. Being a hefty 500 pounds, Buttei only needs one weapon to defeat the player: herself. As you battle the lodger's strippers while trying to escape, this plump diva will lumber towards you, finishing each turn by violently slamming her butt into the ground. If you're too slow and get caught in the confines of Buttei's colossal derriere, it's an instant game over. Thankfully, Buttei can also KO her companions if they're in the blast radius, and as she can't be harmed or defeated, this technically makes Spontaneous Buttei the most powerful enemy in the whole game. Number 6. Topspin. Mega Man 3. Every time Mega Man defeats a robot master, the blue bomber absorbs that enemy's power. Throughout his career, Mega has gained the ability to shoot fire, ice, electricity, acid rain, and gravity bombs, but the heroic android has also picked up some pretty peculiar power-ups, including the ability to shoot bubbles, leaves, snakes, and even wool. Mega Man has never topped the pure randomness of the Topspin. After obtaining this move from Top Man in Mega Man 3, Mega can defeat enemies by twirling like a ballerina. Since Mega has to stand right beside a robot for his deadly pirouette to have any effect, you're more likely to lose more health than it's worth. Even though there are plenty of silly power-ups in this beloved action platformer, the Topspin stands out since it's also the most powerful. The final boss, a colossal automaton called Gamma, can be immediately destroyed simply by gyrating right next to it. It may look ridiculous to watch, but hey, those wiggling hips are saving the world. Number 5. Deadpool fights with his own health bar. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's truly bewildering how everyone's favorite Marvel anti-hero, Deadpool, barely made it into the roster for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Fate of Two Worlds. Thanks to the Merc with a Mouth's killer combos and legions of quips though, it's obvious the self-proclaimed Canadian James Bond is among the best parts of this all-star beat-em-up. Because Deadpool is known for breaking the fourth wall, we knew this regenerating degenerate would have an attack where he acknowledges he's in a video game. And by performing his level 3 combo, which is literally called Fourth Wall Crisis, Deadpool will batter his opponent senseless with his own health bar. Even though the Marvel vs. Capcom series has boasted hundreds of epically inventive special moves, there's almost nothing funnier or more ludicrous than watching iconic characters like Spider-Man or Chun-Li being bludgeoned to a pulp by Deadpool's health gauge. Number 4. Cerebral Ball. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. Considering Turok Dinosaur Hunter involves blasting cybernetic dinosaurs with every weapon under the sun, it's easy to see why it was a firm fan favourite on the N64. Not only did Turok 2 Seeds of Evil supply our hero with bigger and better weapons, the artillery is far more creative this time around. In this underrated sequel, Turok can obliterate raptors, mantids, and grubs with explosive arrows, a razor-tipped boomerang, and a torpedo gun. You can even nuke these overgrown lizards with a literal nuke. Turok's pride and joy though has to be the cerebral bore. Once you've locked onto a dinosaur, this device will home in and, as you can guess by the name, bore into its skull, shredding its cerebellum to mush. Hilariously, this weapon doesn't even work on dumber enemies or brainless enemies, as it literally can't find anything to lock onto. Number 3. Hair. Bayonetta. If you haven't played Bayonetta, you probably didn't realize the titular witch's primary weapon isn't guns or swords, it's her hair. Instead of relying on a wand or a scepter, our titular heroine, like all Umbra witches, relies on her follicles to fight. Even though this concept may sound unusual, the concept of using hair to perform incantations does stem from folktales about witches across many cultures. Now, you can't fight the forces of heaven and hell with a fringe alone, so it's no surprise Bayonetta can also equip a myriad of alternate weapons like high-heel pistols, bows, swords, and even Super Mario's Chain Chomp. More often than not though, you'll be needing Bayonetta's malevolent mane to get the job done. Not only can Bayonetta tie up, strangle, lasso, and catapult demons and angels with her hair strands, but she can summon assorted oversized beasts too, transforming and giving sequences like the opening of Bayonetta 2 a big kaiju finisher. Number 2. Sans' non-attack. Undertale. In Undertale, you can face the secret boss Sans if you perform certain criteria, and by a certain criteria, I mean kill literally everything to trigger the genocide run. If you successfully reach Sans, good luck. To defeat this particular skeleton, you'll need endless skill, the patience of a saint, and a few punching bags to vent your rage when you lose 400 times in a row. As you try to dodge Sans' Gaster Blasters, screen flickering, and impactful slams, this bony boss keeps reminding you that he's saving his most devastating move for last. When he hits you with an onslaught of attacks that lasts 40 seconds but promises his final assault will be worse, you can only imagine what untold horrors are in store. As the battle reaches its zenith, Sans unleashes his so-called special move, doing nothing. Because of Undertale's turn-based mechanics, you can't do anything until Sans makes a move. Since he refuses to do so, the battle is then locked in a stalemate. Wait long enough without doing anything and Sans will eventually fall asleep. However, this might be the single most pacifistic attack in gaming history. And number 1, Dance Magic. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Surprisingly, considering it's a beat-em-up revolving around Michael Jackson battling gangsters with the power of dance, Moonwalker sold really well and received positive reviews. Based on the movie of the same name, the player takes control of MJ and his chimp Bubbles, traveling to the city to rescue children from the nefarious Mr. Big. Because the legendary musician isn't known for his martial arts skills, he relies on dancing to save the day. Although moonwalking, crotch-grabbing, and hee-heeing might not sound very effective against criminals with firearms, the man with the glove can vanquish enemies with his signature high kick, spinning around, or by flicking his white fedora. He can also transform into a robot and shoot lasers from his hands, because Michael Jackson. However, the King of Pop's most powerful move is his music routine. If you hold down the special attack button long enough, Jackson will execute a killer dance number. Upon hearing Thriller, Bad or Beat It, all baddies on screen will stop what they're doing and join in dancing until they keel over and die. And those are our picks for the most unique attacks in video game history. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and please subscribe to the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com. A massive thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon.